Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Excellencies, heads of delegation, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of His Excellency Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, I wish to express our sincere appreciation to His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, for convening this important ad hoc summit to deliberate on the current situation in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This meeting comes at a critical moment and it reflects our collective responsibility to work towards sustainable peace and stability in our region. Rwanda believes that the Doha and Washington frameworks, which built on earlier efforts under the East African Community and the SADC, remain the most viable and credible pathways towards lasting peace, stability, and prosperity in the region, as these processes address both internal and regional dimensions of the conflict. I wish also to recall the important role played by the African Union in these processes. Rwanda remains fully committed to playing its part and to upholding all her obligations and calls upon all actors to faithfully implement the already signed agreements. In this regard, Rwanda calls for the resumption of the Doha process to negotiate and conclude the remaining protocols as soon as possible. Let me emphasize the need to put together all efforts towards implementation of existing mechanisms and avoid creating new ones which might provide opportunities for spoilers to divert attention from agreed priorities. Experience has shown that such fragmentation delays implementation and undermines progress. Excellencies, the challenges facing the DRC and our region must be addressed comprehensively with a clear focus on the root causes rather than through selective and partial approaches. All interconnected challenges must be tackled in a comprehensive and balanced manner. The continued externalization of the DRC's problems will not resolve the crisis. On the contrary, it perpetuates delays and postpones solutions due to repeated non-implementation of the decisions already taken. What is required here is political will and genuine commitment to implement what has already been agreed upon. A key concern to Rwanda that cannot be overlooked is the continued presence and activities of the genocidal armed group FDLR, which is supported by DRC forces. Rwanda reiterates the urgent need for the neutralization of this negative force as clearly stipulated in the CONOX. The failure to address this issue undermines trust and continues to pose a serious threat to regional security. Excellencies, the current humanitarian crisis is a consequence of the non-implementation of agreed commitments, particularly the failure to respect the ceasefire. We wish to urge the operationalization of the ceasefire monitoring mechanism and to strengthen them, because we cannot allow one party to the conflict to be the one also overseeing and monitoring the ceasefire. Addressing humanitarian needs sustainably requires full compliance with existing agreements, and we urge the international community to adopt a fair and constructive position that holds all parties accountable to respect and implement signed agreements. In the previous statement, and actually in the draft communique of this summit, we are referring to invited and non-invited forces. But I think it is important also to consider the mission of those so-called invited forces, because invited forces could be dealing with a regional threat, such as the activities of terrorist armed groups, but invited forces could also be supporting genocidal armed groups such as the FDLR. So a distinction between both is very important. In conclusion, Rwanda reiterates its firm position that there is no need to create new mechanisms. Let us remain focused on the existing frameworks of the Doha process and the Washington Accords. The root causes of the challenges in the DRC must be addressed comprehensively and decisively, and let me say it again, these root causes include the persistence of genocidal group FDLR on the territory of DRC, and this group is supported by government of DRC. Rwanda stands ready and fully committed to playing its part and calls upon all parties involved to honor and implement the agreement they have signed in the interest of lasting peace and stability in our region. I thank you for your kind attention.